DC Dark Legion has introduced a new game mode, the Great Krypton Rush. Let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of it. So as you can see here, when I saw this pop up into the game, I went and checked it out. I looked at the rules, and then I also looked at the rewards. Now the rewards are okay. It certainly at least gives you something for investing what it is, a 40-minute battle. It could be less. I mean, 40 minutes is a little bit too much. I think they could have reduced that to 30 minutes. So, but essentially what happened is part of this being the bad of it. It's that, listen, for some of us that have started playing the game and are actively playing the game, we have had to concede that this is a pay-to-win game, okay? It's no secret of it. The developers made it such a game, okay? A pay-to-win mechanic to it. Because if you want to have a strong account, you have to develop your heroes and you have to start them up. That is really the only way you're going to get it. All the gear is the same. It doesn't really unlock until level 31, 32. So then you can start getting some substats. You might get faction specific stuff, but there is no variability in the gear that allows you to make your hero stronger. It's all about the stars. So when this came out, the same things happened. Is that the way that they decided to release this is that they did it by limiting the participation within the league from being 100 people league to restricting it to only 30. So of course, if your league wants to win, they are going to emphasize the stronger accounts, the pay to win accounts. And so instead of this being an inclusive type of game mode that everybody could have experienced, they tailored it to their pay to wins. And that's exactly what FunPlus wants to do, sure. But alienating 70% of the player base? Come on. There's got to be smarter people in that development room when they're talking about introducing content like this. Well, hopefully they fix it and they actually let more people. Now, one way that you could do this, if you wanted to, and make sure that there are different levels of competition, is you could do 4 rounds of 25 and then let the R4s or the leaders then section them off, and then you have competition and everybody participates. But to limit it to 30, that is just atrocious. It's an atrocious development decision that they made in this part. So that's part of what the ugly part of this is. So I collected a clip here because part of this is that at least I was allowed to view the matchup. Okay, at least they made that available. So if you were not a participant, at least you could come and look at it and see what's going on. So essentially what you can see the timer here, it is a 40-minute timer. So the way that everything opened up here is that you can see here there are these little sections within this Krypton grid that you go and try to conquer, just like you do in Guardian Challenge. This is what it was. It was essentially Guardian Challenge just limited to 30 players. But one of the things is that each one of these towns here has a specific buff, right? So for example, one was called like the development center, and there was a training center, and each one gave different stat boosts. So one gave like an attack boost and another one gave the HP boost. And I think I was able to capture that here at the end. So you can kind of see here how it breaks down in terms of the order of things opening up. So at the beginning, it was just the towns here on the side. So you can see the blue and the reds being filled out. The whites have not opened yet. So those are the ones that they had to wait for at least 20 minutes before they were able to get to it. But that's essentially, so it was just like the Guardian Challenge. So you see everything being set up right now, and how so I'm gonna let this play. But essentially how they were just sending out chips to make sure that you could then conquer stuff. So there was a little bit of repetition of it. There is an interesting mechanic with the little hubs, and then eventually the opening up of the main bubble here, to try to conquer and get the points that you need. And so then you can see how many Krypton points you're getting based on how much damage you're doing and the occupation that you are able to, as a league, manage at that time. So that's essentially what it was. I'm gonna fast forward here just to give you an idea of kind of the ending. I did kind of decided to just leave it out after the middle open because I was just really more interested about what would happen after the middle. But then after that, it was clear, you could see it. It's all about, it's a similar mechanic as the Guardian Challenge. It's just that I think that in this game mode, what's going to happen is that you're going to get certain advantages or disadvantages based on the little, you know, towns, or the, not the towns, but the different sections of this map that you're able to take. So here, let me try to forward to the part where I was actually clicking on each one of these towns where I was seeing the buff. There we go. So this is when the middle opened up, so I started to look, and then you can see there that the little buff that we're gaining by trying to take over. So if you gain that attack boost, everybody's in your team is going to get that attack boost. So let me keep going here just to, because I was curious to see what would happen. So here at the end, you could see here, that was a little bit quick, but let me see if I can figure out this one. Here is, but then see, like, the material stole it, the loss. So here you can see there was an attack boost that everybody gained by taking that over. So right now the other team had that attack boost because they were able to take over. So here you can see that's the main portion of it. That's kind of like taking the city in the Guardian Challenge. So yeah, so the game mode is, it was a interesting spin to the Guardian Challenge. It was just disappointing as to how they decided to launch it and make it accessible, right? So you have to be in the top 30 of your league, and if you're not, you're just left to the side, right? It will be up to the leaders of the league to decide if you're ever going to be able to participate in this. And like I said at the beginning, they could have done this in so many different ways to try to make sure that all 100, if a league has 100 members, everybody could at least participate. But just to have 20 actives, 10 substitutes, that's just too greedy. This is exclusive type game moding for pay to win players, and I have never experienced that on all my years of playing gachas. So as a whole, and also there were bugs that we're noticing as well, just similar as to Guardian, your ships just hanging around doing nothing. So you had to recall them back. So that bug hasn't been fixed. It hasn't been addressed. And so similar stuff that we've seen in Guardian Challenge here with this Krypton Rush mode. So those that were fortunate enough to get some rewards from it did get them. So you can see here on this one, this was one of the bubbles that opened up in the middle of the fight, and I think that that's the one that said that they gained crystal production increases by 20%. So you're getting more crystals as a team. It's essentially what it is. Let me see if I click on any other ones here just to get an idea as to what the buffs are. So here's the other one. So there's the attack, and then see if we go into the middle, and there's the healing up by 20%, and here is the defense and the men increase, the magic the magic resistance. Yeah, so that was the other one. So yeah, just it's strengthen up. It's to try to strengthen up the team. The more of these you take, eventually you get a stat boost. It makes things easier to try to conquer. So that's essentially what it was. It's an interesting game mode. Like I said, timing could have reduced. I don't think 40 minutes just seemed too long for this. It is a copycat of the Guardian Challenge. It was just tailored for strong accounts, and The only mechanic that is really different from the Guardian Challenge is that each one of these hubs gives a stat boost. That's it. That's what the Krypton Rush is. So we'll leave it there. Overall review is we'll give it a C minus because of its exclusivity, and it's something that developers can work on the future. Hopefully they do, and they don't just leave it for the best 30 accounts in the league. That is just atrocious. It's bad game development. And if this was a beta version, they should have said that when they released the content. Thank you all very much for tuning in and watching. I will see you all in the next DC Dark Legion video.